6-Minute English
from bbclearningenglish.com.
Hello, this
Hello, this is 6-Minute English
is 6 Minute English from BBC
from
Learning
BBC Learning English.
English. I'm Sam.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Neil.
And I'm Neil.
Did you have a cup of
Did you have a cup of
coffee this morning, Neil?
this morning, Neil?
Oh, yes, I can't start the day
Oh yes, I can't start the day without my morning cup
without my morning cup of coffee.
of coffee.
Or 2.
Or 2. Or 3.
Or 3.
And what do you like
And what do you like
about coffee, Summer?
about coffee so much?
Well, that lovely
Well, that lovely smell,
smell for one thing.
for one thing.
And of course it wakes
And of course, it wakes me up
me up and gets me ready to
and gets me ready
face the
to
world.
face the world.
Ah, you mean the caffeine hit.
You mean the caffeine hit.
The effect of
The
caffeine,
effect of caffeine,
which is a natural
which
stimulant
is the natural stimulant
on your brain,
on
making
your brain, making you
you feel more
feel
awake.
more awake.
Do you think
Do you
maybe
think maybe
you're addicted
you're
to
addicted to coffee?
coffee?
It's not just me,
It's not just me, Sam.
Sam. Have you seen how busy coffee
Have you seen how busy coffee shops
shops are nowadays?
are nowadays?
Full of people enjoying
Full of people
delicious coffee
enjoying delicious coffee
from all around the
from all around the world.
world.
Well, it wasn't always
Well, it was always
like that, Neil.
like
The
that meal.
first coffee to reach
First coffee
Britain in the
to reach Britain
17th
in the
century took
17th century took
months to arrive by
to
sea.
arrive by sea.
It was made by boiling
It
raw
was made by boiling raw
coffee beans and apparently
and
tasted
apparently tastes awful.
awful. In this program,
Program
we'll be looking
will
into
be looking into
the history of coffee in
of
Britain,
coffee in Britain,
and as usual,
and as usual, we'll
we'll be learning some related
some
vocabulary
related
too.
vocabulary too.
But before that,
But before that,
I have a question
I
for
have a question for you.
you. The earliest
The earliest coffee
coffee to arrive in
to
Britain
arrive in Britain
took its name from the
took
port
its name from the port
in Yemen
in
it
Yemen
was shipped from.
it was shipped from.
So, what was
So, what was it called?
it called? Was it A,
Was it A, cappuccino,
cappuccino, B,
B, mocha,
mocha, or C,
or C,
latte?
latte?
I'll say B.
I'll say B,
Mocha.
mocha.
Okay, I'll reveal
Okay,
the
I'll
answer
reveal the
later in
answer
the program.
later in the program.
Britain's love affair
Britain's love affair
with coffee started
with coffee started
with the opening
with
of
the
London's
opening of London's
first coffee shop
coffee shop in 1652.
in 1652. People loved the effect
People loved the effect.
coffee made them more
Coffee made them more
talkative and
talkative and brighter.
brighter. It kept them awake for
Kept them awake
longer, and the
went for longer, and the drink became
drink became more and more popular.
more and more popular.
Within a decade, over 80 new
Within a decade, over 18 new
coffee shops had opened in the city
coffee shops are opened in the city of London alone.
of London alone.
By the
By
1800s,
the 18th, so
though, tea had replaced
he had replaced
coffee as the most
as the
fashionable
most fashionable drink,
drink, partly because it was
partly because it was
drunk by Queen
by
Victoria.
Queen Victoria.
Listen as Judith Hawley,
Listen as Judith Hawley,
an expert on 18th
as an expert on 18th century literature,
century literature, takes up the story
picks up the story BBC
with BBC Radio 4
Radio 4
program In Our Time.
in our time.
It became more of a working
It became more of a working
class drink. So there were coffee shacks
So
and
there were coffee
carts, like the sort of little
shacks, sort of little street carts
street carts that you get still in
that you get still in London,
London. You get all over New
and you get all over New York.
York. That is a cheap,
That
quick
is a cheap, quick drinks
drink to perk you up.
perk you grew up,
and the temperance
and
movement
the temperance movement
sponsored coffee taverns
coffee taverns to try to wean
working men
working men off
off
to
going to the pub for lunch.
the pub for lunch.
So it moved. It declined
It declined
seriously and has never fully
and has never fully
recovered, even in the current
even in the current coffee boom.
coffee boom.
In the 17th
In
century,
the 17th century,
there was a coffee
there was a coffee boom,
an increase in its popularity.
an increase in its popularity.
One of the reasons was that coffee
One of the reasons was that coffee
perks you up,
perks
gives you
you up,
more energy, and makes
gives you more energy,
you more active.
and makes you more active.
Drinking coffee was also
Drinking coffee was also
supported by a
social
group called
called
the
the temperance movement,
Temperance Movement, who campaigned to
who
make
campaigned to make alcohol
alcohol illegal.
illegal.
They used coffee
They
to
used coffee
wean
to
men
wean men off alcohol,
off alcohol, make them gradually
make them gradually
stop using something they
stop
had
using they had
become addicted to.
become addicted to.
Coffee changed British
Coffee
society
changed British society
and continues to do so today.
and continues to do so today.
Here's Professor
Here's Professor
Judith Hawley again, talking
talking to BBC Radio 4
to BBC Radio 4's In Our Time
in
about
our time.
the situation
About
today.
the situation today.
I think if we look at the way
I think if we look at the way
coffee consumption is going
coffee consumption is going
today, it
today, it seems to me to set out
two quite
two
radical
quite radical
alternatives for the world. One
for the world.
is the world of corporate
One is
coffee,
the world of corporate coffee,
the coffee chains
the coffee chains
existing on a low
existing on a low-wage
wage economy. So you have that kind
So you have that kind of mass coffee market
of mass coffee market on the one hand.
on the one hand.
On the other hand, you
On
have
the other hand, you have these micro-lots,
these micro lot estates, fair
fair trade coffee,
trade coffee, the sort of
the sort of hipster coffee,
which is
which is as varied and as
varied and as interesting as
interesting as
fine wines, and is made in an artisanal
and it's made in an artisanal way.
way.
Many customers today
Many customers today
are turning away
are
from
turning away from
large coffee chains like
chains like Starbucks
Starbucks in search of a more
in search of a more
responsibly sourced cup of
coffee.
coffee. One example
One example
of this is fair trade,
is fair trade,
an ethical standard
an ethical standard
scheme which
scheme which
guarantees a fair
a
price for
fair price for coffee producers
coffee producers in South
in
America,
South America,
Africa, and Asia.
Another recent development
Another recent development
is the use of
is the use of microlots, smaller plots
microlots, small plots of land
of land which
grow specialized coffee beans
prized for their
high quality and unique flavor.
Fair trade and
Fair trade and microlot
coffee are part of a
are part of a shift in
focus towards quality artisanal coffee made by hand in the
traditional
way by skilled
growers.
It's artisanal coffee that's often
Artisanal coffee
sold in smaller
is often sold in smaller
independent coffee shops
preferred
by trendy
by trendy
hipsters.
So coffee in Britain
So coffee in Britain
has come a long way
from
from the days it traveled